Red 2 standing by, all for lit, and in the green, welcome back to Metroid Prime. There's a bit of exploration we've done, and I will show that just now. I grabbed a couple of pickups, literally a couple, because we only had 2 to get. So with those in hand, we will be looking to find the runic symbols in the Arboretum so we can move on and fight the boss of this area. We'll have to be pretty careful about what we do, how we go about it and all that. If we look down here... Oh, do I have to actually go down there to scan it? Wait a minute. Because I'm perfectly aware that there's a runic symbol there, but... it would be very nice if the game actually acknowledged that I had scanned it. What do I have to do? Let's see. There we are. We've activated that one. Now I have to go back and do that one. I'm pretty sure that's the case anyway. We don't get to scan the weeds over the top of that just yet. So if we hit that, and then we... What is it doing? Right, so it was just being pedantic. We have to scan it in a very, very specific spot. It's a little bit annoying, but if we make our way up to the top of the Arboretum, we will make it to the Sun Chamber, which is where the boss of the area hides. From range, take out the War Wasp Hive, because nobody really likes dealing with those. Pain in the backside, every last one of them. And I think there's another one hidden around here too. Jeez, I nearly walked off the edge. That would have been a little bit embarrassing. Move very carefully. Now let's see, that's just the ruined War Wasp Hive, but there is one we can spot high up in the branches. So that's 3 out of the 4. That's 4 out of the 4. Sorry, so no little tricks. This activates the gate at the top of the Arboretum. Sandstone blocks that path, so we will need to use the Morph Ball. Excuse me, where did... Jerk. Right, well that will make our journey a little bit easier. Right, and I need those plants to come back up because that is a new scan entry for us. The venom weed, poisonous plant that retracts into the ground if threatened. Venom weeds evolved to thrive in the habitats of large organisms. They lure prey with brightly coloured leaves, then detain it with tiny buds that deliver a powerful toxin. Venom weeds rapidly decompose anything that succumbs in their midst. So, just like the tangleweed, a precise shot will make them retract. We will have to be very careful moving past those because we'll find a few more along the way. Stick the landing, and up we go. Bomb this with the morph ball and we'll be ready to face the boss. So we'll move along very carefully, dealing with the venom weeds that are in our path. And Reaper vines on top of that. Lots of very unfriendly plants around this part. Which is not surprising because our boss is indeed a very unfriendly plant. Now, according to a lot of the Chozo lore, players might wind up suspecting that the source of the great poison here in the Sun Chamber is indeed this boss. But it's actually very different. Now make sure you scan those tentacles as well. The mutated mass in the center of the room is the boss of the Chozo ruins, Flagra. Now those plants seal that door shut. Flagra can be a bit funny to scan because of the way it moves. However, you should get the information pretty quickly because it's not a very challenging boss if you put everything to work. So, Flagra. This mutant plant is the source of toxic water in the ruins. Flagra's growth cycle has been radically accelerated. As a result, it requires near constant exposure to solar energy to remain active. This exposure has made Flagra's outer shell thick and durable. Its lower root system is unprotected and vulnerable, however. Exploit this flaw when possible. Concentrated weapon fire can daze it for short periods. So, we want to scan it and... well, stun it and scan. One of Flagra's tentacles fills this narrow drainage channel. Analysis indicates that Flagra's central nervous system is located at the base of this structure. Right, so if we use the charge beam on these, we can stun Flagra temporarily. Take away its source of sunlight and Flagra conks out, those tentacles retract, and we can roll right into this. Each one of these will shave a quarter of Flagra's maximum health. There will be more mirrors to deal with each time. Right, now we've got it stunned. A very good tactic is to strafe around Flagra and power up the charge beam that way. Because as you can see, we hit our target pretty easily. And it's a very nice touch that the morph ball bounces when we hit the ground. We're already halfway there. Basically, everything you've learned using your radar, positioning yourself, strafing. This boss fight sets it up very nicely. Radio. That's not what I was trying to target. It's a little bit hard to miss this thing. Now if we're quick, we can get around. And the tentacles will damage us, but 3 down and 1 to go. This time I'll have to remove all 4 mirrors before we can stun Flagra. But it's basically positioning ourselves for the best starting point. Okay, so move around it quickly. We've got this going now. It will probably knock some mirrors down. Right, we got it stunned. And get near this one. And with this, Flagra's vile flower is flayed and the poisonous water will be purified. And some energy pickups. We will have to come back to the sun chamber later on, but we have done everything we need to for this point in time. And right behind us at our intended exit, we have the Varia suit. We've been put absolutely nowhere near those pickups. That is a pain in the backside. But you will see that this door is still closed. We can't do anything about this. That's going to be stuck for some time, so we'll just have to deal with it. Well, that's a lot deeper than I anticipated. Okay. Well, let's head around and pick up our Varia suit. We have earned it, and we'll be able to go into superheated areas at long last. It's a pretty cool symbol in all fairness. Let's go. If you didn't scan the door lock, there's a good time to scan it. The giant shoulders are back. The Varia suit took on this look in Metroid 2 Return of Samus, because there was no colour palette on the Game Boy. As a result, they had to distinguish between the Varia suit and the Power suit. So, the giant shoulders came along, they stuck as part of the design, and away we go. So as we head through here, we can dive underwater a little bit. Unless, of course, we're very good at sticking the landings. Small patch of tangleweeds, and we'll find a new adversary along here. Of course, if we need some pickups, there's some health and a couple of measly missiles. But around here is an enemy known as the Pulse Bomber. Life form of raw energy, periodically releases explosive segments from its body. Pulse bombers are energy beings invulnerable to most known weapons. Electrical energy can harm them, however. They lack any intelligence beyond an instinctive attraction to other charged energy sources. Pulse bombers produce energy constantly. All excess energy is shared regardless of who or what may be nearby. So, if we charge our beam, they'll come at us. So we can walk past that one. We will need a new weapon to deal with that. But they're very similar to the atomics of Super Metroid and Zero Mission. Now in this tower we might be able to get... we can't look down well enough to get a scan, I don't think. But we can get that from the bottom. We'll jump down. We'll land on something. And we'll get our scan. The Oculus, wall crawler that generates electric pulses. The Oculus exposes its single eye when active. The electrical field that covers it is enough to deter most predators. If the Oculus detects anything capable of presenting a real threat, it retracts into its impermeable shell. So, we'll drop down here properly, and we'll also have to deal with about a zillion wasps. Because there are 4 war wasp hives in here. And we also have a bit of Chozo lore. The cries of this dying land echo in our ears as we Chozo watch the great poison seep ever further into the living pulse of the planet. The dark energy sinks into the trees and waters, devouring all life. Peaceful beasts die by the thousands. Some creatures survive, but their forms grow as twisted and evil as the force that fell from the sky. Many of these mutated monstrosities remain small enough to do little harm, but others grow enormous and threaten our very existence. One such beast defiles our sacred fountain, disgorging poison from its foul form, replacing pure, flowing water with cascades of creeping death. Even in the face of such horror, we Chozo do not turn in fear. We are all that stands in the way of this great poison, and it is our duty to contain it. So this is where you find out, basically, that Flagra was just one problem. There's still plenty more that has to be dealt with. We can't go back up that way until we have the spider ball. This will be fairly important. So, if we like, we can head back through this door and go to the hive totem. But there's no real point in doing that. What we want to do is to head out this way. We have a couple of pickups we can grab after the fight. We can make our way back through here. Of course, it shouldn't be too much trouble as far as I know. So, this is the vault. There is actually some Chozo lore over on this side of the vault, which I managed to completely miss on my first time around. The future is a vague thing, ever-changing and always in doubt. Even if we Chozo could gain the ability to foresee the future, it would be a hollow gift, for we could never hope to control what is yet to occur. The fountain is an example of this. The day may come when its water dries up and there is nothing we could do to stop such a tragedy. But we do know this. Unlike the uncertain flow of water, the power of our will is strong and enduring. The will of the Chozo will never dry up. And right in the middle of that vault, we have a missile expansion, which I will get that and then we'll move on to the next episode. We have to destroy these and use morph ball bombs. This will disengage the locks. Now, we can use basic morph ball jumping. So that's 2 done, but we have to use a slightly more complex jumping setup. With a little bit of practice, you'll learn to use that tactic. And there we go. There is our reward for opening the vault. Well, Chozo Ruins is on the way to purification, and we will find what's behind this door in the next episode. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.